Okay guys, so we're here today talking to Medusa Games, we're talking to Rich here, and we're going to be looking at some of the different games that they are here showing off at the UK Games Expo, and the first one is the Great Fire of London. So Rich, if you could sort of give us a rundown of exactly how this plays and what the game's about.
Yes, well, so this is based on the Great Fire of 1666. Now this is my first game that actually came out in 2010, but what we're going to be doing is doing a reprint this year, hopefully in time for Essen October. So this is actually the second edition that was published by Pandasaurus Games, and is probably the version that we'll be making the third edition based upon, but there'll be some changes to some of the colours. Effectively, anyway, you are one of the great and the good of London. You know, historically, Prince James, even the King, was fighting the fire. So you're kind of one of those guys running around London, trying to help put the fire out. The Mayor of London essentially pushed off and went back to bed, and didn't do anything. So it was up to the individuals to try and coordinate the effort. There were around London the trained bands of militia, the army, which we represent on the board by these chaps. Several hundred guys with buckets, but you need someone with a bit of brain power to get the action happening. Okay, so you represent one of these. Now you've got a vested interest because you also own some of these houses in London. So let's put this green guy on. So all the green houses would be under your ownership, and each of these is actually worth a couple of points to you. So you start the game, because there are 20 houses, with 40 points. But every time one of your houses burns down, you get the painful moment that somebody else gets to do that, and you start to lose points as the game goes on. So you're trying to protect your properties. You've also got an interest in. So can you pass me one of those cards over there? These are the objective cards, and these are several. This is Hatton Gardens, which is one of the lower point ones, but we've got the Tower of London. We've got St Paul's Cathedral, Guildhall, the Royal Exchange, the Artillery Grounds, a variety of important locations around the city. And the idea is that you will have one of the 6.1s, one of the 4.1s, one of the 2.1s. These cards are in twice, so it's possible that somebody else around the table might be trying to protect the same location as you, but maybe not. So you don't know, and they keep secret until the end of the game. And there's 12 bonus points if you can keep these buildings, these structures alive, as it were. You also get points for putting out fires. You're fighting fires, so each time you put out a fire, you manage to extinguish a fire, it goes in front of you, and that scores your point. And the person who has put out the most fire is, of course, the hero of London, so gets a couple of bonus points at the end of the game, which can sometimes swing the game. So, in essence, it's all about these fire cards. So these move the fire. So this is a fire goes east card. When we orientate it, so the map, this is the River Thames, so it would be that way round. But so you can, if you're sitting over there, you can turn it upside down. The arrows on the board match the colours on the card, so that helps a little bit. And also we've got little symbols around the card that match the symbols on the edge of the board for colour-blind sort of purposes and things. So you have a card for east, west, north, and south. Handful of cards. These are weighted to take the fire north and west, which is historically what happened. Fairly lesser south and east. So what you do, you'll have 5 cards in your hand, and on a turn, once we've deployed our firefighters and our individuals around the city, you'll play a fire card, and you'll move the fire into a space that will basically burn a house, and some chaps just lost some points. Presumably not you, if you, and that's still expanding the fire. Then you get 4 action points to move the firefighters and the meeples around. So perhaps 1 point, 2 points, and then put out fire, 3 points, and I'll move on somewhere else for my 4th point. So it's fairly simple. The action points. You move the militia. You move your pawn, or you put out fire, basically. And what you're trying to do, of course, is these guys, of which there are 6, are in ownership of all the players. So everybody can move those, but only you can move your meeple. So if you are trying to protect certain properties in a certain location, maybe more this direction, you'll obviously be trying to get the wall of firefighters over here. Now, when the fire expands, there is what we call fire priority rules, and the basic emphasis is if you can burn a house, you have to burn a house. So rather than, if I go north, rather than going into an empty space, I have to, if I can, burn down a property. And that means the fire tends to keep spreading. Even if you're containing it, there'll always be usually some way through where it'll keep on spilling round. At the end of the turn, you draw a new card. In that process, you may reveal one of these cards, which are the fire stack cards. These help us order the pack a little bit, but also every so often this card will get revealed, and whoever's revealed it gets to put 3 additional fire cones on the board where there is already fire, expanding the fire. So you just think you're getting it under control, and suddenly there's a bit more fire happening. And that carries on until essentially you played through this deck, and then once more around the table, game over, and you score up. Yeah. So it's very much about the games are often played with people being, cooperative to some extent until somebody loses something important to them. At which point the gloves are off, and it all gets a bit nasty after that.
Yeah, it does sound like it's got a very nice sort of feel to it, where it starts off being a little bit more friendly and semi-cooperative, and then you start to work out what people's objectives are, and then it starts to fall apart a little bit. So
I'm purple, and I haven't got the Royal Exchange. I want to burn the Royal Exchange because I know someone who's going to lose 6 points probably, and yellow's going to be down the houses as well, and, blue and green. So that's it basically. So it does get a bit nasty after a while, but yes, but actually, to be honest with you, most of my games are a bit like that.
There you go, guys.
October, the new reprint will be out, and we're taking pre-orders at the moment.
There you go. So there you go. Pre-orders for this at the moment. Come and check out the Great Fire of London. Absolutely fantastic looking game. I love the sort of semi-cooperative aspect to it, and the board looks fantastic as well. Really nice sort of style to it and things. We're going to move on and actually look at some more of the Medusa games here, and we'll see you soon.